All right, let's talk about something so many of us have thought about, quitting sugar. What actually happens inside your body and your brain when you cut out all that added sugar for a full 30 days? I think you'll be surprised. The transformation is way more powerful than you might imagine.
I mean, have you ever tried it? You decide you're going to cut back on the sweets, and then just a day or two later, you're hit with these crazy, intense cravings. You think it's all about willpower, right? But what if I told you it's got almost nothing to do with that?
The reality is, your body is going through a genuine physical withdrawal. Seriously, this is not just in your head. Sugar actually rewires the reward centers in your brain, creating a dependency that's pretty powerful. So when you suddenly take it away, yeah, your body's going to protest.
Loudly. And this is the cycle that keeps so many of us completely hooked. We call it the sugar roller coaster. You eat something sweet, your blood sugar shoots up, your body goes into overdrive releasing insulin, and then you crash hard. And what does that crash do? It triggers even more intense hunger and cravings, and boom, you're right back at the start of the ride.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to walk through this 30-day journey step by step. We'll start with that really tough first week, the withdrawal phase. Then we'll get to the turning point in weeks 2 and 3, see the incredible transformation at the end of the month, and finally, we'll look at the huge impact this has on your long-term health. So let's dive in.
Okay, let's get right into the hardest part of the whole journey, that first week. This is when your body is basically in crisis mode. And what's wild is how predictable this whole thing is. You know, in the first couple of days, you feel that initial shock, maybe a mild headache, the cravings start to kick in. But the real challenge, that comes between days 3 and 5. That's when the withdrawal symptoms are at their absolute worst. But if you can just push through that peak, you'll start noticing real improvements by day 7. And by the 2-week mark, most of those really tough physical symptoms have started to fade away.
In fact, that really intense period is so common that it actually has a name. People call it the sugar flu. Now, it's not a real virus, of course, but the symptoms, the fatigue, the body aches, maybe even nausea and headaches, it can feel just like you're coming down with something as your body's chemistry starts to completely recalibrate. And remember, this is a two-front war. It's not just physical, it's mental and emotional too. On the physical side, you might be dealing with headaches, feeling totally wiped out, maybe even dizzy. But at the exact same time, you're battling those intense cravings, you're irritable, you're moody, and you've got that classic brain fog that makes it almost impossible to focus on anything.
But once you push through that, you get to the next phase. This is the real turning point, where you go from struggle to hope. This is weeks 2 to 3, the shift.
And this, my friends, is where the magic starts to happen. For the first time in a long time, your blood sugar finally stabilizes. Those constant spikes and crashes are just gone. The withdrawal storm finally calms down, and you start to experience the very first rewards for all your hard work.
So what do these first benefits actually feel like? Well, first off, you get sustained energy. That classic 3 p.m. crash just vanishes because you're finally off the roller coaster. You'll also start to notice deeper, more restorative sleep. You actually wake up feeling refreshed. All of this leads to a much more stable mood. And on top of that, you'll feel way less bloated as your gut finally begins to heal.
And get this isn't just you feeling better. There is hard science to back this up. In just 2 to 3 weeks of cutting out added sugar, studies show a 15 to 30% drop in key inflammatory markers in your blood. You are literally cooling down your body's inflammation from the inside out.
Okay, now let's jump to the end of the month, because this is where the changes get really, really dramatic. This is the month-end transformation, where you truly see and feel the payoff. Let's talk about a change that can completely transform your day-to-day life. So many of us just live with a constant low-grade brain fog. But after 30 days, people consistently report this huge shift to sustained mental clarity and focus. It's simple, really. As the inflammation in your brain goes down, your brain just works better.
And of course, here's the number a lot of people are curious about. It's really common for people doing these 30-day challenges to lose about 5 to 10 pounds. And this happens because your insulin sensitivity improves, which means your body stops storing so much fat, especially around your middle, and it becomes way more efficient at burning fat for energy.
But this isn't just about what you lose, it's about what you gain. Your taste buds literally reset. This quote from people who've done it says it all. An apple tastes like candy. That natural sweetness in whole foods becomes so rich and satisfying once your palate isn't being constantly blasted with artificial sugars. And the transformation often becomes visible to everyone else too, especially when it comes to your skin. A high-sugar diet causes something called glycation, which basically damages the collagen that keeps your skin firm. So when you cut the sugar, people report fewer breakouts, less puffiness and redness, a more glowing complexion. You're even helping to slow down your skin's aging process.
But here's the crucial point. This 30-day reset isn't just some short-term fix. It's a catalyst. It's laying the groundwork for profound long-term health and well-being. Let's look at that lasting impact.
Now, this is the big picture, and it's probably the single most important reason to even think about this journey. Cutting your added sugar intake is one of the most powerful things you can do for your future health. You're not just feeling better today, you are actively lowering your long-term risk for some of the biggest chronic diseases out there: heart disease, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, and even certain types of cancers.
And we're not talking about abstract risks that are decades away. These are measurable improvements happening in your body right now. We're talking a major drop in triglycerides and that bad LDL cholesterol, which is huge for your heart. Your insulin sensitivity gets better, taking a massive load off your metabolic system. And it doesn't even stop there. You'll see better oral health and even a stronger, more resilient immune system.
So, after 30 days, your body has gone through this incredible restoration. You've basically reset your metabolism, your brain chemistry, your taste buds. You now know what it feels like to have stable energy and real mental clarity. You've gotten off the roller coaster. So the real question is, what's next?